So, as part of Module 3 and part of us thinking about our effective communication styles so that we can start to build relationships, we're going to have a look at an active listening exercise. We know that listening is so important for building trust and improving our communication. Listening has been noted to be one of the key things that helps build trust in a relationship, because it can really encourage two-way conversations. Listening in the workplace can sometimes be quite distracting or quite difficult given everything that's going on. I don't need to tell you the introduction of mobile phones in meetings and constantly looking down at a screen can have on really listening to someone when they're communicating. There's a great saying that I love, that if you're being truly listened to, then that person will make you feel like the only person in the room. And essentially, that's what we need to be striving for, so that we're giving everyone eye contact, giving them our full attention, and not just hearing what they're saying, but truly listening to what they're saying. So this exercise is going to help us get there. It's going to do a little bit of training, or training our brain to be able to help us to actively listen and really intently listen so that we can play back. So I'm going to start by reading you an exercise and reading you a passage so that you're able to listen to that passage. And then following that, we're going to go through 5 questions about the passage that was just that I just read out, and then how to score those, how to score it, so we can come up with a score at the end. I'm happy for you to take notes during this exercise. That's fine. Some people use notes as a bit of an aid. In a real situation, be really careful about when you're taking notes, when you're listening. Does the conversation require you not to be scribbling down and actually looking at the person and really giving them that eye contact and those non-verbal signals that you're listening? Or is taking notes going to help you? So you decide what you want to do. If you know that really listening without taking notes is something that you need to develop, then I would encourage you not to take notes. If you feel that actually taking notes is something you need to develop, then you can take notes. So I'm going to leave it up to you. Whichever method that you want to use, that's absolutely fine. But just ensure that you feel challenged, and just ensure that you're pushing yourself to really use all of your listening skills. Okay, so I'm going to get started. It was a beautiful morning. Sarah was excited to finally visit the Museum of Modern Art she'd been hearing so much about. She arrived early, eager to avoid the crowds and purchase her ticket. As she entered the Grand Hall, she was immediately captivated by the soaring ceilings and the sunlight streaming through the large windows. Her first stop was the exhibition on abstract expressionism, which featured bold colours and thought-provoking pieces. Sarah particularly enjoyed a large canvas by Jackson Pollock, its chaotic energy resonating deeply with her. Next, she moved on to the photography exhibition, where she was fascinated by a series of black and white portraits capturing the emotions of everyday people. Time seemed to fly by as Sarah immersed herself in the world of art. By the time her stomach rumbled, indicating it was lunchtime, she'd only just explored half of the museum. Deciding to come back another day, Sarah felt left feeling inspired and eager to share her experience with her friends. Okay, let's have a look at the questions. And you're now going to give you some time to be able to write down the answers to the questions before we go into the scoring. So the first question is, what day of the week did Sarah visit the museum? Second question, what was the first exhibit Sarah visited? Number three, what kind of artwork did Sarah particularly enjoy in the abstract expressionism exhibit? Number four, what detail did the passage mention about the photographs in the second exhibit? And number five, why did Sarah decide to leave the museum early? Okay, let's have a look at how you scored. So, question one, you would get 1 point if you said Tuesday, because that was the correct answer. Sarah visited the museum on a Tuesday. If you added any other details in there, like the fact that it was Tuesday morning, then you can have 2 points. Question two, the correct answer was abstract expressionism. But if you said the correct answer and mentioned the artist Jackson Pollock, then you can have 2 points. Question three, the correct answer here was Jackson Pollock. But if you said the correct answer and additional detail about the artwork, for example, you mentioned the chaotic energy, then you can have 2 points. Question four, the correct answer was the black and white portraits. But if you gave the correct answer and mentioned the emotions captured in the photographs, then you can have 2 points. And finally, question five, the correct answer was that she left because her stomach rumbled. But you can have 2 points if you gave that correct answer and also mentioned her intention to return another day. So how did you do? Let's evaluate it. So if you're adding up your points, if you got over 5 points, then you're demonstrating active listening skill. So if you scored one point for each correct answer, or you added anything on, then you were able to capture most of the key details and even some of the subtle nuances from the passage. If you got 2 to 4 points, that's a good effort. You grasped the main points of the passage, but keep practicing and focusing on details and actively engaging with the person who's speaking to you. And if you got none or one left, then I would recommend that this is something that goes onto your improvement plan. So active listening is something that can really help build rapport, really help build relationships, really help your communication style. But it takes work and it takes practice. So really think about what you need to do personally to really improve these skills. And then also, it's a good idea to see if you can get some feedback on why people feel that you're not listening. Is it because you're distracted? Is it because you're distracted in your head or externally? There's many different reasons, but it might just be good to ask people on a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you think I am at listening? And see what they say.